let's talk about the function hoisting inside the JavaScript. So what we mean with this? So if you are declaring any variable or any function and then later using it, that's a normal scenario. But if you are using something and then declaring it, then their function hoisting will help you. And sometimes it will create problem and sometimes it will help you. So let's see with some example how it works in terms of function. And we are we know the three different types of function declaration. One is the traditional, then we know the function like anonymous function, and one is an arrow function. So we'll see what are the differences in all these three with respect to the function hoisting behavior. So I'll create a simple function here called display, which don't accept any parameter as of now because we don't want to go in details of parameters and everything. And in console also, I'll just say display called. That's it. And here I'll call this display function. So this is a super simple behavior that we know, and we'll get a very good output for that. This we have seen earlier. So this is the first way of the function declaration. That's the traditional way. But if I call this function before its declaration, what will happen? I'll just pause for a second here so that you can think on it. Yes, what will happen? Let's see the outcome. We are getting an exact same outcome in this case. So even though we are making use of the function first and then doing a declaration for it, defining it, it doesn't matter when you're doing it in a traditional way. Due to the function hoisting behavior, all these declarations will be moved ahead on the top when the JavaScript take this particular file for the execution. And that's the reason it doesn't matter either you're doing it on the top or the bottom, the usage of the function that you're declaring. Okay, so let's come back and keep it down. And now this display function will comment and we'll convert this display function now to an anonymous function. So this is an anonymous function. This part, the one that I've highlighted, then we're assigning it to a variable called display. So this is a second style of the function creation that we are seeing, function anonymous function. Let's save this and see the outcome. So here also we should get very perfectly. Now again, I'll move the function call here. Now we are making use of the function and then later performing the anonymous function declaration or the definition. Let's see what happens. Of course, we are not going to have any compile time error due to the JavaScript lack of compilation. We'll see the program crash directly on the browser. So our program is getting crashed here on the line number 7, saying that cannot access the display before initialization. It's a reference error. So let's come back to this line number 7. So it is saying that it is not able to understand what is this display and it's not able to understand what to call. So if you clearly observe, this is a function and this is a variable. Instead of this function, can I assign a value to it called 10? Of course, we can do that. And when you're adding the value 10, you can't expect it. You will see the value. What is the value here? For example, the number 10 in this console, because the execution of the console line number 7 will get executed first, then it will go to the line number 9, and then the number 10 will be assigned. The same way is happening here. You're calling the display function, but your display function is getting created here and then getting it assigned to a variable. And that's the reason it is giving the error reference error. So with anonymous function, the function hoisting behavior is not supported due, and the reason for that, we use the variables in anonymous function. If you are going with a traditional one, the JavaScript can understand it's a function and it can move ahead to keep the declaration on top of the page. But here it's not possible because it is treated as a variable. Okay, let's again move it down. Let me comment this functionality and again try with the arrow function. So in arrow function, we just need to remove this function and add an arrow here. That's it. Now it's an arrow function. So we should be able to call it super simple because we are calling it after the declaration. Again, if I try to move ahead on the top, it will give us again the same error. because this is our arrow function. You're adding it to a variable and you're you're making use of that before initialization itself. So this is how the function hoisting behavior is only supported inside the traditional function declaration way. It won't support inside the anonymous function or arrow function.